Tangent planes in normal lines, part one. We want to actually find a tangent plane, we need a vector normal to a surface. Same thing for a normal line. We're going to start with a simple idea. Let's suppose we have a curve here, y equals f of x. We're just going back to calculus 1. Of course, the slope of the tangent is dy dx. And if you write that as dy dx over 1, you can make that equal to rise over run. And run would give you an I component of a vector, rise would give you a j component of the vector. So if we want a tangent vector, this tangent vector is v, we could just simply choose 1 for I, and we could choose dy dx for j. That's one way to do it. So for instance, if the slope were 2, it'd be 2 over 1. And that's the rise and the run. Now in 3 dimensions, we have a surface. We can make a tangent vector kind of going in the zy plane direction, and also a tangent vector going in the yz plane direction. We could make 2 tangent vectors. The first tangent vector is just I plus the x partial k. In this case, k is the run instead of y. And going in the y direction, we'd have j plus the y partial k. And in that case, k is the rise and j is the run. Now, we want a normal vector. We don't want a tangent vector, but you could actually cross these two, and it would give you a normal vector. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll calculate the cross product. So this vector is just a this video is just a derivation. Part 2 will actually solve a problem. So let's do tx cross ty. These are vectors, and we get I, j, k. You can cross it in either order. It doesn't really matter. We have 1, 0, and we'll call this f sub x. 0, 1, f sub y, I, j, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, well, first of all, that's going to be 0, that's going to be 0, that's going to be k. That's going to be 0, that's going to be negative minus fxi. And that's going to be minus fyj. It's a real simple pattern to remember. Now, this would be an upward normal. K is positive, it's coming upward. If you wanted a downward normal, you could really do it either way. All you'd have to do is make that negative, positive, positive. So negative, we'll call this, and you can call it upward, for instance. And downward would simply be fxi plus fyj minus k, and that would work as well. You could really use either one, it doesn't matter. Now this gives us a convenient way to find a normal vector. Once we have a normal vector, we can come up with a tangent plane equation and a normal line equation. So that'll be for part 2. So that's all for this video.